Hello everyone and welcome to Sinful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the grey. Today's video, we're going to check out the latest article from Warhammer Community because they have confirmed a few of the rumours that have been around, denied some of the others, but they've put up their article talking about veteran infantry as they take centre stage in the new General's Handbook, and I think there's a lot to unpack in this. We've been having massive discussion over a ton of this sort of stuff with my local gaming group, my local friends, so let's check it all out. Now, effectively, we know that they've been saying they want battle line, they want infantry to be the focus of this new setting. This is in the tunnels and the Great Canyons of this particular region of Gur, so it's all much more infantry, you know, monsters don't fit down there as easily, so infantry are where it's at. So, we have Masters of the Splintered Land, first of all, so mercilessly wet patterns of Gala to protect themselves from such critters, caravans, and travelling armies employ Masters of the Splintered Land. Seasoned veterans who know how to navigate the twisting pathways and fend off the brutal bugs. So, friendly battle line units that have a wounds characteristic of 4 or less. This is sort of the rumour. Wasn't sure whether it was 4 or less, or less than 4. Do not have mounts gain the Galatian Veterans keyword. Your battle line units now gain the Galatian Veterans keyword if they're small enough to squirm into the tunnels anyway. This means no mounts and no one with too many wounds, making a shift away from the supremacy of beasts. Each round, the player going second picks an objective to be the Proving Grounds. So, at the start of each battle round, after the players have determined who will take the first turn, the player who will take the second turn can pick one objective on the battlefield to be the Proving Ground until the end of the battle round. That same objective cannot be picked as a Proving Ground more than once per battle, and only one objective can be marked as a Proving Ground at any one time. Only models and units with the Galatian Veterans keyword can contest a Proving Ground objective. So this is, first of all, a couple of interests. First of all, it's meaning you're having to include Galatian Veterans if you're wanting to do this. I'll be really interested to see when we see battle plans how many objectives are in scenarios, because I actually think low objective scenarios can be really interesting with this, because it does say in this, can. So, if you've only got a 3 objective scenario, obviously for 2 turns in that game, there's going to be no Proving Ground objective. So I think it could be a really interesting dynamic playing with the game and going, okay, cool, I don't actually control any at the moment, or my Galatian Veterans aren't in, the right positions on the table, so I'm going second and I don't actually want to pick a Proving Ground. I think there's a lot of play in that, especially in low objective scenarios. And of course, even in high objective scenarios with, 5 or 6, it's picking that order in which they go in as well. So I think this is actually a really interesting rule on picking the objectives and making sure you have particular units in your army. This was one of the things. If we are going to get 6-month updates, I like that they're changing the game in a competitive manner this rapidly, of flinging around. I don't mind all of a sudden, we just had a year of beasts. I think that was too much. But if we're going to have 6 months of a particular thing having supremacy, I'm okay with that a lot more. It's not going to be as, long a drawn out time. Now, I understand I play probably many more games than many people, but, I got bored of the beast thing by the end of it. And I think with this only being 6 months, I think I'll be able to get in a decent amount of games and not get bored of it as much. Then we also have the Bonds of Battle. Now, this one is interesting because I think this should just be a rule in the game. When a model with a Galatian Veteran unit makes an attack with a melee weapon, you can target an enemy unit within half an inch of another model from that Galatian Veteran's unit instead of using the weapon's range characteristic for that attack. So, effectively fight in 2 ranks. Which is really cool. And there's definitely some ways you can make really interesting sort of chains out with all of this, I think. But for me, this is, a good rule. This is going to allow things like 32mm, 1 inch range, things like gut rippers, and other units, or other things like that. I think this is a really interesting. I'm trying to think. Ogre Gluttons, as it says here, is a great example, but 32mm base models as well. All of a sudden the throwers really need a 2-inch reach. If this was a rule in the game to begin with, they probably didn't need that reach increase. So these rules combined well with an overwhelming assault, which is a new realm command, where you can use this command ability at the end of your turn. That unit receives the command must be a Galatian Veterans unit that has 10 or more models. You pick one enemy unit within 1 inch that has a wounds characteristic of 4 or less and roll a dice. If the roll is greater than the number of models in the enemy unit, the strike last effect applies to the enemy unit. This is pretty cool. If the roll is greater than the number of models in... Yeah, so if your opponent's only got a unit of 2 or 3 models in them, you know, thinking more hyper elite units, this could be something where you give them, you know, always strikes last. Really cool. And then we've got the new realm where Galatian veteran units only, each model in the battalion counts as 3 models for the purpose of contesting, which is hilarious, you know. Imagine 60 zombies counting as 180 models on an objective. Plus, there are 12 new battle plans, 8 fresh battle tactics, and 6 Galley-focused grand strategies. Rumours are out there for the battle tactics and the grand strategies. Also, I like the grand strategy rumours. If they're correct, a lot more than the battle tactics. I don't think they've still hit them on the nail perfectly. And there'll be a new spell as well. I like this. So, the other thing this says to me, and we were talking about this when we were talking about rumours, is that it seems like they're using a framework where they've got an objective-based change thing. They've got 2 battalions, they've got a realm command, they've got a realm spell, and they've got a cool rule for the, you know, the game. A cool couple of rules for the thing. I really like this. I think this is an interesting change. I'm really excited to see where we go. And it's also talking about up-to-date universal special rules for the endless spells as well, which is nice. I think, you know, this is really cool. Like, this should be really interesting and fun. A nice shake-up to the game. Like I said, 6 months for these shake-ups, I think, especially if you're focusing on particular types of units, because certain armies will rise and fall with this, without a doubt. I think 6 months is definitely good in that aspect. Paying, you know, the cost of the book, that's up to each and every one. I know in Australia, like, playing both games, it's gone from paying about $110 a year to play both Age of Sigmar and 40k to now about $300. So it's a little bit of an increase in that respect, but, you know, all in all, I think the book looks fantastic. I think there's definitely some things I'm maybe concerned about, but I want to see them on the table and see how it all pans out. And like I said, it's 6 months. If this is terrible, it's terrible for 6 months. If it's great for 6 months, maybe we continue on doing something. But I think, you know, 6 months keeps it fresh, which is cool. What are your thoughts on all these Galatian veteran rules and all of this sort of stuff? Let us know down in the comments below, and let us know some units you would have as Galatian veterans. And so, that's the end of the video. Thank you all for watching. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And drop us a comment down below letting us know what you enjoyed about the video. If you'd like to come help support the channel in another way, you can do so either by joining our Patreon or YouTube members, or grabbing some channel merch off our merch store on Teespring, which is on our YouTube store as well. You can also come chat with me and other members of our little community here and our Discord server, which is linked down in the video's description, along with the Patreon and YouTube members links. And as a special shout out to all those Patreons and YouTube members, we'd like to give them all a shout out. So thank you to our Patreons: Christian Weir, James Soren, Greenskins Gaming, AJC, Kenny Lowell, Outer and Shot First, Andrew Bowen, Nathan Fee, The Rising Ape, Q Dynamic, Agu, Anthony B, Anton Nilsson, JJ Austrian, Average Wargamer, Domir, Mark Harvey, James Cater, Derek, and Giapi 390. And a special thank you to our YouTube members: Greenroost Gaming, Kenton Young, Chris Wallace, Ronya, Locke Lorick, The Johnny84, David Ellsworth, Revenar, Wolfric Nick, Broken Chef, Ariana Edwards, Sean Scott, Pink Nico Fire, and Robin Mankiller as well. Lastly, a special thanks to Lady Witchfox Art, who does all the amazing artwork for the channel, and to everyone who comes on the channel and helps us create everything we do. Thank you all for watching once again, everyone. Stay safe, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the great. Ciao for now.